Okay, I think we're getting ready to be underway here. I'd like to welcome you all to Dialog Insights Beyond the Click webinar. My name is John Martin. We're going to be recording today, so there'll be another opportunity for you all to revisit some of the more detailed examples we're going to look at in today's session. Many of you on the call are already OpenField users, so I just wanted to point out that additional information on any of today's topics specific to the way you use OpenField will be available through your account manager, or you could reach out to Allison or I, at the end of the presentation, but we're happy to help with any questions that way. This afternoon, today's presenter is Relational Project Manager Allison Flero. Allison is going to walk us through some of the setup and results options in OpenField that will help you get the most out of your account. There's a number of topics we're going to cover, including some of the dashboard issues, key indicators, message settings, message results, and more. So with that in mind, I'll turn this over to Allison and we'll see if we can get the meat of the presentation started.
Thanks, John. I'll just go over to OpenField. Okay, so the first, we're looking right now at the dashboard in an OpenField account. The first table you see here is the sending volumes for the last month. If you scroll over the different nodes, you'll see the different statistics for the different months. And if you want to focus in on any of the items, you can click the labels here to remove them from the view, so you can compare sent and viewed if you want to. I'll just click them back on. Below that, we have the sending indicators. The delivery rate for the last 3 months is the first one. This is displaying the emails that we are able to deliver. And this number should always be around 98–99%. If you see a lower rate, it could indicate an issue with your sending domain name. So it's important to keep an eye on this indicator to make sure that it stays in the high end of the 90s and to quickly follow up if you do see an issue. The next one here is the open rate for the last 3 months, and beside that is the click rate for the last 3 months. The next table over is the contact indicators. So how many contacts have been acquired over the last 3 months? And then the next one is the open rate. It's showing us that we haven't augmented our opens compared to what we've had before, and that the click rate has gone down. So the indicators that we check the most here are the deliveries and the new contacts. John, I think you had something you wanted to say there, sorry.
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, that's my cue. Next, we're going to dive into some more options in terms of the message settings. And this is another opportunity I wanted to show that, there's a lot of reporting available in OpenField. And some of what we're going to go through may sound a little bit technical or a little bit scary, but your account managers can help you break this down and implement some of these things in your accounts. So if you have questions, just hang on to them and we'll be happy to go through them individually. Thank you.
Thanks, John. So I've opened up one of the messages in OpenField here. Let's go into the Properties tab and I'll show you what you can enable for tracking. Down in the Statistics Active tab, we have the first one is log clicks. So that's telling you that the links in your message are being tracked. If you do want to turn it off, you can just uncheck the box. However, this should be checked by default in your account, so it should always be tracking the clicks. The last two are the conversion and journey rules. This is what we talked about in our last webinar. It allows you to follow the visits on the site after the click in the message. And the one we're going to focus on is apply Google rule. So I'll just click this pencil. Now, these parameters will be added to all of the links in your message. Our default rules are UTM source, UTM media, and UTM campaign. Source and media are set by default, but I'll show you how you can change those in a minute. Right now, the source is bulletin, which is the communication type of the message, and the media is email. The last one, campaign, is white paper, so we named it the name of the actual email. Now this is editable here, and I'll show you where you can set a default value if you want to as well later. Close that. The last thing I want to show you before I move out of the message editor is the link editor. So at the top right, you see this chain link. I'm going to click on that. And now I'm seeing the different links that are in my message. So you can see here this is a URL, and it's going, the link is on an image, but it's not a very clear name. So I can go ahead and click on this pencil and edit the name of the link. So this is our Facebook page, so I'll just change it to Facebook. I can also edit the URL of the link, and this can also be edited after the message has been sent. So it can be edited later if I realize that it's not going to the right place or if I want to change it. The last three attributes will let us categorize the links later for our scoring tool. So for example, I can say that the category is maybe solutions. But if you're a company that maybe sells products, maybe the category could be products. And these are three different names, attributes that we set up. So we set these names, and you can set them up yourself as well. I'm going to close that. Okay, so now we're going to go and see the injection rules for the message. So I'm going to go to Configuration, Messages. We're going to take a look at how we configure the injection rules for Google here. So I'm going to open Google. I just clicked on injection rules. So you can see I named my injection rule Google. I can set it up so that it's the default value for all my messages, or I can define different rules per communication types. These are the different communication types in my message. Next, I can say, well, I want to apply it automatically, or do I want it do I want to actually have to check a box to turn it on for my message? The next table is showing us the different URLs in our message on which we're going to apply the rules. So you can see I just have to put the URL, so these are all the links that are going to my site that I'm tracking. You can also add a wildcard. So everywhere you see a star, it's saying, well, maybe there's an S here, or maybe there's a triple W in front of this rep solution or not. So you can change it. Maybe there's something after dialoginsight.com. Now, even if you do put your UTM source and UTM media parameters on the links that are going to like your Facebook page, you won't have any results because you aren't tracking Facebook within Google. So that's why we are defining the rules that we're actually, the links that we're actually tracking here. Okay, so the last table is showing me the parameters. So this is where I said you could change the source and the media. We just have bulletin and email, or the UTM campaign. So I'm going to double click to open this. So this is where we named the parameter campaign, and this is the UTM campaign. It's telling us that it's going to be in my link UTM campaign will display in the actual URL. I can also set this for different communication types or leave it as the default value for all communication types. The last section here is the value. So right now we have it predefined as BUL open field contact, so bulletin open field. I can change this or make it editable. So like we saw when I was editing the message, this is editable right now. Or I can make it different for each message and make it required. So every time I make a new message, before I'm allowed to send, if I don't put a parameter in there, then it's going to pop up a message saying you have to do that before you can send your message. Okay, so next we're going to look at the link attributes. You can see that we had category here, share and exclude scoring. So it's really easy to add another one. You just click on Add Attribute, give it a code, and the code is like a system field. So when you're adding, a project field, the code can't have any spaces or special characters. The label is what you're actually going to see in the platform, and then type. So string is a text field and Boolean is a checkbox, and we will be changing the labels here so that it says text box, checkbox. So like I said, these were the different parameters or attributes that you did see when we were setting up the Google rule. So we have 3, but you can put as many attributes as you want. It's when you come to edit these that it can get more complicated if you do have a long list. And one note for our clients that are using drag and drop templates, if you want to use attributes, you will need to call us to add them to the interface so that you can actually use them. They are available in our WYSIWYG and HTML editors. Okay, so that's it for link attributes. I'm going to move on now to show you how to set up different fields so that they can be used to help classify or segment your results later on. So I'm going to go to Configuration Projects and click on Advanced Settings here and Field Availability. This screen allows you to choose which fields of your project will automatically be displayed in the different interfaces of the application, and it will allow you to select the fields you might use later for segmentation. So for each field that I want to use, I just put a checkbox in the column segmentation. So you can see here these are going to show up in the search, this is going to show up in list, contact profile, previews, and tests. I want these to show up in segmentation. So for example, if I want to segment my results later by language, just put a checkbox here, and then you have to save before you move on. Okay, so now that we know how to segment, we're going to go and look at results. So in the results menu, you can find different results on your contacts, sending volume, and journey if you have the module enabled. But today we're going to focus on the messages. So at the top of the screen you can see that you can search for different messages based on how many contacts it was sent to, when it was sent, and if the message contains something, so what the message is named. You can also include automated sending, so if you had an automated campaign going, or welcome messages for your forms, or include test sendings here if you want. Now on this screen I'm seeing all the different messages that have been sent, and I can actually in this drop down menu here show the percentages for the messages. I'm going to click on show percentages. So if I click on views, it's going to sort from, I think, smallest to largest number, and then if I click on it again, largest to smallest. One of the big questions we always get is, what's a good open rate or click rate? And our answer is always the same. We have clients with open rates of 80% and others with open rates of 20%. Same thing for clicks. We have clients with a click rate of 50% and others that are completely happy to get 10%. So what you need to do is set a reasonable objective and try to hit that mark. Test, measure, and refine is a sentence that I often say. So test different subject lines or calls to actions to see what actually gets you more opens and clicks. But there are 2 ways I can help you set an objective for those open and click goals. First, we can take a look at the different open rates that you have here. Sorry, John, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just thinking that the open rates, you're looking at those 100% open rates and thinking what a good job Dialog Insight does there. But basically I want to point out that we're only sending 1 or 2 messages at a time at that. And this is just evidence that these are messages generated out of a welcome program or messages that are generated based on triggers that you've set up in marketing automation. So those messages that are generated by actions taken by your contact are going to get a very high or perfect or near perfect open rate. That's a matter of presenting information when your contacts are, ready to view it. So based on something they did. But anyway, that just explains why the 100% rate there is for very small sendings. Allison will go ahead and show us a little bit more interesting sendings with larger volumes.
Exactly. So these messages have been sent to 1 or 2 people. So what I'm going to do is select messages that have been sent to 1,000 contacts or more to give me a better idea of my true open rate.
I think you need one more 0.
Oops, thank you. There we go. So you can see here high end is like 49%, and then if I scroll all the way down, we're looking at 22%. So I could go ahead and pick something in the middle here if I wanted to, or I could go into a specific report. So let's just say I'll pick this one. And look at this second table here. So this message, this is, I'm in a report, so this table is showing me the opens and views for my current message. So right now I see my opens is 40.2% and my clicks is 23%. In the second table, it's comparing the results of my message to my other messages that are of the same communication type. So in this case, it's the Dialog Insight newsletter. So it's comparing them. So I had originally set a target goal for opens at 40% and a target goal for clicks at 20%. So my current message is actually doing better than my target. And on average, this communication type gets 24.7% opens and 22.6% clicks. So I'm doing better than my average for this communication type as well. So that's good news. If I was not doing as well, you would see an arrow pointing down. So you can set this a target for your communication type right here inside the report, or you can also do it in configuration when you're configuring your communication types. You can do that in 2 places. The last column compares your message to other open field users' results. So we've classed this client as a communication and marketing agency. You can select from the different segments in the list to see. So if I just open this drop-down menu, I can see the other segments that are available and I can change them. So you can see here my message is actually doing better than the sector as well. So just going back to the top, I'm inside a message report. Going back to the top, you see an overview of your delivery, views, clicks, and deactivated. And if I scroll over each bar, it shows me a pop-up of the rates here. We already took a look at this table, so I'm going to scroll down to the next table. So this section gives you some graphs. So you have your delivery performance, your open distribution broken down by platform, your click-through distribution also broken down by platform, and contact attrition. So anyone in quarantine, if they've opted out, or if they have a spam complaint. I don't know if you noticed, but when I scroll over everything, a little pointer finger appears. So anytime I see that pointer finger, I can click and delve down into the results and see more information. For example, you could see the actual list of bounced messages that came back and the bounce codes, so you can try and decide and clean up your list. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go into the views. And okay, so right now I'm on platform, so it's showing me the different platforms that the message was viewed on. I'm going to click on multiple views here. So now it broke down the opens into how many views per contact. So people that only viewed it once, 2 times, 3 to 5 times, or 6 to 44 times. So I can click on this and it'll bring me to a list of actual contacts, and from there I can export the list or launch a campaign to those contacts. This information allows you to talk to your contacts a little bit differently. So maybe you talk to the people who are more engaged a different way than the people you would speak to that are less engaged. Maybe you send those people a coupon or something to become more engaged. Okay, so remember I was showing you in Configuration Project how to add the segmentation field? Well, this is where we would use that. I'm in the multiple views chart, but I can add another chart based on the segment that I want. So let's say now I know I have my multiple views, but I want to segment by language now. I can give it a title here and use this drop-down list. These are all of the fields that I decided would be fields I want to use for segmentation. So I'm going to select language, and I know I don't have that many languages in here, so I'm going to just select segment into 5 categories and click Create. So now you can see that a new chart has appeared segmenting my views based on language. So I have French, no value, and English. So one view, you'll see the different colors here, 2 views, 3 to 5, and 6 to 44. And you can add as many charts as you want. You don't just need to use language. And the last thing I just wanted to say about this was that I've set this up in my user account, so any other users logging into my account will not see this chart, but they can make their own.
So one use of this then, Allison, is if you have information in your contact profile, like for example a city, and you send a message out to your entire list, but you want to see what the results are in any given city that you have in your contact profile, you could actually create a segment and then display the results for 5, 10, or more, different cities. So you can actually get a breakdown of what's happening by, any bit of information you have in the contact profile. So segmenting by geography is one example, but whatever other information you have, you could get segments on it this way.
Exactly. So going back to the summary page, we'll see what other information is available on here. If I scroll down, we have the list of the top links in my message. I can click on the magnifying glass. So anytime you see a magnifying glass, you can see more information. If I click here, it'll show me the list of the different links, all the links in my message. And after that, I could see, click even further in and see exactly who clicked on those links. That information is also available later when you're making your sending groups. So these results are not just interesting on paper, but they can be used later to personalize and target different people. Down here we have results by domain. So you can see here my delivery rate by domain. If you're at 100%, that's awesome. If you see anything lower than that, maybe you see one day it's 50%, you could give us a call and we could help you identify if there's maybe an issue with your sending domain or if the issue is actually with the receiving domain, but we can help you see what's going on.
The domains that'll show up there include corporate domains as well as ISP domains. So if you can see you're having a problem with gmail.com, you can measure that by looking at the delivery rate for everybody with a gmail.com email address. But similar, if you're getting issues with any corporate domains, they will also show up here. So if you've got IBM as a target account and you want to see how your delivery is to your IBM.com contacts, it will show up here in results by domain. So it's a very interesting thing to be able to look at to help make sure you're getting the right deliveries to the right domains and identifying any issues so you can take steps to correct them.
Right. So the last table on this page again is the results by device type, so broken down by views and clicks. You can also export this report to an Excel or CSV file. There's a button down here at the bottom. But if you want, you can also have this report sent to you by email. So if I go into the results menu and click on automated reports, I can add an automated report, and it goes by communication type, so I can set it up for each of my communication types. I can say I want to receive the automated report however many days after the mailing is sent. So right now it's 2, but if I just drag the cursor over, it can change it. And then who do I want it to be sent to? So if I click on add, it's going to show me the list of users in my account that I can send the message, send the report to. So one more thing before we leave the message results. What I'd like to do is also point out that we can do comparative and cumulative reports. So if I just control-click to grab 2 of the messages and scroll down to the bottom of my page, I have 2 buttons here, compare or accumulate. So if I click on compare, it's showing me a side-by-side view of the different results. So on top and on bottom. And I can click on these magnifying glasses to go into each report individually. So that's compare. Go back to messages and click on the same 2, and I can click on accumulate. And now it's adding all the information together. So information about both of the reports together. So I think I already covered this, but the last thing I wanted to say about results is that once you have your results, they can be used in OpenField in many different ways to target different contacts based on their behavior and send very personalized messages.
Exactly. Results are available in a number of different places outside of the results screen. So for example, you can use results to create groups, you can use results to create, to do searches, and you can use results to as triggers in things like marketing automation. So there's a lot of places that you can use results to get better, to increase and improve the results out of your platform use and out of your marketing overall. As always, the information shared here on these webinars is very interesting, but if you have questions on them that haven't been addressed in the webinar, please feel free to take them up with your account manager, and we'd be happy to help you learn more about OpenField and learn more about how you can apply some of these things into your accounts and get better results. That's what it's all about. I don't think there's, I haven't seen any other questions come through that we haven't already addressed. So unless Allison has anything to add, I'll say thank you for joining us today, and we're glad to be working with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a nice day.